Yo, what's up guys, Neon Blitz here, back with another Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra video. Season 4 is just around the corner in a couple more hours, 10, 12, 14, whatever you want to say. Season 4 and the half-year anniversary is going to be here, so I figured it should be the perfect opportunity to see and fully review Season 3 in its entirety and see, is it the best season? Does it beat Season 2, or does it fall short of Season 2? Before we get started, shout out Shay McCall for the background music. I'll leave a link in the description to the exact video you're listening to. Make sure to give them some love. So, with that being said, let's take a full review on Season 3. Now, I did this video for Season 2, and I'm going to split this into the three kind of tiers. We have, the positives, the things I liked about Season 3. We're going to have our kind of neutral things that I was kind of lukewarm more of, maybe didn't meet my expectations, or just, I just felt whatever about. And then, of course, our disappointments, our sad, the bad things about Season 3. So, let's get started with the positives, the character picks. I think this is easily by far the most exciting season. Bardock had been super requested, a fan favorite character. Kefla, same thing with her. I think those two could maybe even stand by themselves. Those two can work together to kind of match Season 2's hype with Broly, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, and Ultimate Gohan. But then we got Super Vegito. No one was expecting Super Vegito this early. And honestly, you could even make the argument that Season 3's more hype than Season 4's character picks of God Goku, God Vegeta, and Kid Buu, just because Season 3 has Super Vegito. Everyone was expecting Super Vegito for the first year anniversary, so to have him just in this season right now was extremely hype and exciting. Now, next thing I'm gonna say is the Season 3 roadmap, and kind of just the way they structured Season 3 was so much better paced than the Season 2 roadmap. Alright, I could close this because I was saying Season 3 better than Season 2. The fact that Season 3 gave us two different instances of both Mr. Saiyan Zenny Jamboree as well as a Bulma Capsule Bonanza, and I feel like the content weekly felt a lot better paced, especially the ending, because the first half of not first half, but pretty much the beginning of Season 2 was locked behind the Squadra Blast. And honestly, the first half of the season, I'd say, because they needed the Squadra Blast to be on one consistent patch, so they did not do any balance changes at all till this season, was pretty much till Broly's release. So Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, who is easily by far the best character and the best tank in the game, ruled for a month. Ultimate Gohan, who had dropped, was the best character in the game for 20 days. All because they couldn't balance the game at all, because they wanted to be on the same patch for the same nodes or same balancing of the game till the Squadra Blast was done. So the fact that they decided to not only move the Squadra Blast to the end of the season, when the season would have received no balance patches anyways, and just give us more events was crazy. Because look at this. This only had the Bulma Capsule Bonanza here. This has two different instances of the Bulma Capsule Bonanza, two different instances of Mr. Saiyan Jamboree, as well as a new event. While we know the new events planned for here were the Santa event, the Christmas event, and the New Year's event, which are still great, but I think Season 3 had more to offer and just was better paced. Next, this is kind of a leftover from Season 2, but the fact that they continue carrying over the weekly heroes into Season 3 was really great. They started really strong, giving out Super Saiyan 3 Goku for free. The first brand new character given out for free, I think is an amazing touch. Then they've given out Kid Gohan for free. They've given out Android 17 for free. They've given out Zamasu for free. They've given out Bojack for free. They've given out Baby for free. They've given out 18 for free. And then Majin Buu for free. So the fact that they've kind of continued this till way through Season 3, and I'd imagine this to continue this going for Season 4 is great. I'm glad that they did not go back on that. Next, we're going to talk about the actual events themselves with the Mr. Saiyan Zenny Jamboree and the Bulma Capsule Bonanza. The fact that we got two different instances of each, I think is great, and especially considering they buffed the Mr. Saiyan Zenny Jamboree to go from free 7,000 Zenny to 14,000 Zenny. I think it's a great thing. More of these events. I think these are just great for players. Just give them free rewards, free content, complete these missions. Here you go. Awesome, right? They should. This is how every season should be. Every season should have multiple instances of these. And honestly, I wouldn't even mind if they buffed the Bulma Capsule Bonanza. It's that crazy. Now, speaking of Zenny, before we get to the Zenny, this is for me personally. The fact that they actually are now saying when the codes expire is great. It was really confusing, trying to make videos covering the new codes, and then someone in the comments would be like, "Oh, the code's expired," and I'd be like, "Oh, they did not say when it would expire. That's what am I supposed to do? So I'm glad they actually are now covering when the codes expire. Next, we have, you know, 2 different instances of Twitch Shop. Season 2 did have this, so I'm glad they're continuing this. You know, the fact that they're continually doing these, you know, seasonal drops are awesome. They need to, if they take this away, it'll be a negative for the season, but the fact that they're keeping it, it's a positive for the season. Now we're talking about the amount of Zenny that they've given out. You know, thanks to the Mr. Satan Jenny's Jamboree, the increased Zenny that you get per season, which I believe is written here, increases the aggregate amount of Zenny you can obtain from the Battle Pass, and you've obtained from bonus missions and battle score rewards. You got so much Zenny from this season. For an example, I made my video, which is my most popular video. Thank you guys so much for that. On January 16th, where I spent 150,000 Zenny. You know, I started the video 151,000, and I end the video with 1,256. So I spent literally 150,000 Zenny. I recorded this video today, March 16th, the day I'm recording this, and I'm already at 203,000. Keep in mind, me saving up 150,000 Zenny is from season 0 of the game from mid-September to early January, and just in this season alone I was able to get 50,000 more Zenny. It's an amazing buff to Zenny, and which is one of the most commonly complained things and most needed resources for the game to upgrade your hero statues to get for the Star Collection, that they actually seemingly kind of fixed. They've now given a lot of Zenny to get, as long as you're completing the battle pass, as long as you're getting the 100,000 points of each character to get the golden checkmark to get that 1,000 Zenny, you know, redeeming all the bonus all the bonus Zenny from any of the news notifications, as well as if you're logging in every day and claiming your daily Zenny shops from the daily shop. That could be 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, or 10,000 Zenny. That change, which I believe changed in season 2, really makes a big difference in season 3. So if you guys are running low on Zenny, make sure to at least log in every day. Just go to the daily shop, claim your free Zenny, maybe claim some capsules, and then leave. You don't need to do your two daily matches, and as long as you complete the battle pass and do that, you'll have a lot of Zenny. So I think that's an amazing buff to this season, and that really puts it a lot over season 2, is the amount of Zenny you can get. Next, they've implemented harder punishments for those who AFK. While yes, they could do more, you know, if a player goes AFK, you know, maybe not have it be discounted against you, because I've had games like that where players go AFK. Sometimes it hurts me, sometimes it doesn't. But the fact that they're listening to the community and making it harder, or making it more punishing for those who do AFK or who are uncooperative, good change. Next, Jackie Chun, the first boss that's ever added to the game. You know, since this game's initial beta Project Multis, it's been Nappa, 16, Jocko, Ribrian. And hell, they even removed a boss from the second beta when it was officially called Gekishin Squadra and released in Grade 8. So the fact that we actually have a brand new boss, Jackie Chun, to replace 16 is a great change. And I think Jackie Chun is actually quite nice. You know, having him, you know, use his after image technique, and, you know, having him split off so you can't just charge special beam cannon from like over here, walk into range, and then just instantly kill the boss. Great change, you know. And it feels like more of an interesting fight, because let's be honest, 16 was only interesting when you got him low and he used his Hell's Flash, and it became like a rush to kind of kill him, or just kill him before he even does it. Nappa's a complete pushover. Honestly, I'm surprised Nappa did not get replaced for season 4. And maybe for season 5 he'll get replaced and become a more interesting fight. But I'm glad that they're implementing new changes to the bosses and keeping the game fresh. Next, you know, I already talked about this earlier, but the increased Zenny, you know, adding the CPU battles, while it seemingly is not a lot for a lot of players, this has been really helpful just trying to clear out missions. You know, yes, it's a little not tedious. It's a little kind of like, not shameful, but like, I don't even know why I'm like even saying it like that. You know, it makes it super easy to do the missions. You just do and grind out your 10 games for the weekly characters. You know, complete your missions for these events. Super easy to do. It's super easy to just get in there, win 10 games really easily, get your missions done, get your weekly hero characters, and leave. Great change there. Then the real change I was talking about is actually this balance patch at the beginning of the season, where they nerfed pretty much all the divine combo cards. Or not all of them, but the big ones like Snowball, Build Up, Solid Barrier, Thief, Limit Breaking Jump. These divine combo cards have been ruling the game since the game's launch in Season 0, and while Build Up came into Season 2, it completely dominated, and it really has opened up a lot of interesting builds, because for the most part in Season 0 and Season 2, it was pretty much Snowball, Solid Barrier, Limit Breaking Jump. And then with Season 2, it went Build Up, Solid Barrier, Limit Breaking Jump. Those are the only cards you would ever really see. Maybe on hit, you would see, like, or some other characters you would see Backstab. Maybe Defense Step, maybe. It wasn't really until this season that you would see Defense Step. So I'm actually really glad that they nerfed these cards, because these were the only like 4 or 5 cards that you were seeing at all. So I think it's really opened up, interesting builds. We've now seen like Too Easy. We've seen Giant Slayer. You can still run, Limit Breaking Jump, Solid Barrier, Snowball, and certain characters like Super Saiyan 3 Goku and KO. But I'm glad that they actually nerfed these all of these cards, because these have been ruling the game since the game's launch. Next, it's actually going to be the sub-rule sword delivery. I know a lot of the players have probably not played this mode, but I think this is the best sub-rule they've added. It's really fun. It's pretty much just like capture the flag. You just bring you get the sword, you bring it to enemy's base. And it's really fun. Matches can be really quick. Matches can have a maximum of like 5 minutes. It's really fun. I enjoy it a lot. It's my favorite sub-rule. I'm going to cut the video before I die. Damn it. It's my favorite sub-rule, so I'm glad they've added it. It's more fun and more fun than Finders Keepers, than Veggie Battle, than Land Grab. Great addition to the game. Now, we're going to go into kind of my neutrals, this is like both a bane and a boon. It was both good and bad. And it's going to be the Squadra Blast. Now, don't get me wrong. This definitely leads way more positive. The fact that they actually made the Squadra Blast be at the end of the season instead of the start, like Season 2, allowed the season to just kind of flow a lot better, let more balance patches be added. And, I think which is more hype for the community, especially going into the reveal with Season 2. And, of course, also buff is having Shinhiro Nike, I think they say, and James Banks as the commentators. Honestly, for any other future Squadra Blast, bring these guys back. Make these guys the Tyrant and Damascus of Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra, if you're familiar with fighters with those two. Have these two always be back for the Squadra Blast. They both did a phenomenal job. They, I remember people during the Season 2 Squadra Blast complaining about the commentators, and it's, thanks to these two, they've really stepped it up. And I think they should just be back for every Squadra Blast. Shout out to both of them. They both did an amazing job. However, it seemed like there's a lot more controversy and drama surrounding this Squadra Blast than the first one. The first one was more annoying just because they weren't balancing the game. While with this one, it seems like they were running the Squadra Blast kind of weird. I think for the NA one, they were doing coin flips to see what teams would advance in top 16. And then, of course, there was the quote drama with the EU teams that won, that they had another player play on another person's account, essentially acting like they were the team that signed up, but it was a completely different person. And that team got rescinded their win, which, even though I know all of those players that played could have won, of course, but it's still like, it kind of makes it a messy, leaves a bit of a stain. And I think just the fact that, hearing stories of how it was run kind of weirdly puts it in neutral, but for the most part, you could if this is a positive view, I would not argue with you. I would honestly agree with you. To me, this is more of a neutral, especially since they still didn't really address that you need to have a full team of 4 to enter, someone that doesn't have other players to compete with. Seemingly something I would never be able to do is compete in a Squadra Blast. So there's that. And that reminds me of another positive that I need to bring up, is actually the Gekishin Cup. I didn't compete in this, but having like an in-game tournament that you can climb a leaderboard with, and the fact that you can actually do it solo or with a squad, I think is awesome. They should honestly have another Gekishin Cup for Season 4. Back to the neutrals, it's going to be their balancing, I will say that I think this season has probably had some of the best balance adjustments, but it hasn't been enough. They've done great stuff like nerfing Kid Gohan, upping the health of the bosses. Upping the health of the bosses, giving characters necessary buff like Topo with his skill 3 can't be crowd controlled during it. And giving some characters like Trunks more health, nerfing Gammas by removing their stagger effect, nerfing, I don't think it's on this page, I think it'll be on here, where they nerf Super Saiyan Goku's ultimate or Spirit Bomb that takes longer to come out, so not just a guaranteed boss security that it used to be back then. It's still an amazing boss security, do not get me wrong, but it's no longer as good. They've had grid changes, but it's just not enough. There's still a lot of characters that desperately need buffs, and especially, I believe it was also the start of the season where they've just They said this buff to Deborah, it was a buff, but then it was actually a nerf because they nerfed his skill too. And they've done other weird buffs like this, the Deborah buff. Good, not enough. This mini Goku buff has essentially just had him feel like a complete rat, just split pusher build, just because you can push super easily, and then to get out you just power pull, and you just repeat that over and over and over again. They've had weird changes, and while this is they've had good buffs like Zamasu, Super Saiyan 3, and they've even nerfed medical respawn. It's still just, I think, not good enough. They've already mentioned in Season 4 that they're gonna be having more drastic buffs and nerfs. So we'll see what that looks like once they draft the patch notes. But I think, even though this is probably the best they've had their patch notes, it's still not enough, so that's why it's a neutral. Then next, it's the skins of this game. They've had cool skins. Like, I think this 3 sets are great skins. Having Boo wearing Mr. Saiyan's outfit, Badman Vegeta, 18 in her Cell Saga fit. Great. But they're still releasing skins like this, where it's pretty much just the main character, like the character's fit, but just broken. And we're seeing this again with God Goku, where these skins are just not great. Very simple, not creative at all. And while we are seeing some crazy skins like the Broly wearing Turles' armor and Trunks wearing Tapion's outfit, those are good skins that we should have more of. I do not like these skins of just the broken armor, broken key. It's while the skins, and even with speaking on the skins, the free skins and the battle pass skins or the rage skins, I think you needed to dramatically improve, especially the battle pass. If you have better skins or maybe specific emotes in the battle pass, it'd be much more worth it. But I just think they need to stop doing this broken armor, broken gi skins. It's just not worth it. Now we're gonna get into the bad stuff of Season 3, and this is brought over from Season 2, and seemingly this is gonna forever plague the game. Are bots. Bots will flood your games until A rank. A rank is when you actually start getting not good players, but real human players. While I didn't experience a lot of the bots because the rank reset dropped me from S to B2, I believe, it's not fun fighting bots. It doesn't feel good to lose due to your bots. It's not really that fun to steamroll bots and ranked games. I was saying earlier, using the bots to grind your missions, perfectly fine. But in standard battle / ranked, no, I don't want to see any bots. I get why they do it. This game is not that popular, and to especially fill out some of the lower ranks, they need to have bots so there's a quicker queue time. Speaking of queue times, I will also say, damage queue times, insane. That's something I guess will forever be a thing, just because damage is the most popular role, so the queue times are going to be crazy, especially if you play late. I think there was a day where I queued for 3 hours and only got 2 matches. Insane, but I don't know how they exactly fix that. Weird. Hopefully they eventually get rid of the bots. If this game blows up, they can just stop doing bots. Then I think I have this in the wrong spot because I think this is the adjustments. But next is the Spring Festival event. This event was not great, especially when compared to the 2 events during Season 2, the New Year's event and the Christmas event. If you weren't playing for the Christmas event, you pretty much just played 25 games, and you got a Santa hat for every character, including Broly, who wasn't even out yet. And while some people may have called it lazy just because it's literally just their basic skin with a Santa hat thrown on the top, I think it was a cute way to celebrate the Christmas, and it was just a fun time. And then the New Year's event, which is the best event they've ever held, had doubled hero memories for winning battles. So you were getting your first win of the day, you were getting 300 hero battles, or not hero battles, hero memories. Insane, amazing time to grind out the game, especially grind out those hero statues for the Star Collection. While the Star Festival, or the Spring Festival, was this. It was just your basic clear the missions. You got borders, Zenny, stamps, and the skins. While the Broly one had special hit effect, a brand new cosmetic that we've never seen before, the home screen change, where you've had blue here, and then I believe I could have it pulled up somewhere here, where yeah, you can have it be red with gold accents and have Super Saiyan 3 in the bottom right. And they've shown us that they're including this again with Season 4 because there's a God Goku, God Vegeta one. But I don't know why there wasn't like a Super Vegeta one. You know, I feel like that could have been such an easy way to make this pass so much better. And they could even charge for it if they really wanted to. Because I do think players would spend money for upgrading their hero memory, their home screens, you know? So this event was disappointing compared to these two events. It was really unfortunate. Next is the Divine Draws. You know, the 3 doing Divine Draws, Super Cooldown Reduction, Vanishing Step, Cloudy Cloak, and Mystery HP. That replace Super Damage Boost Skill 2, Spirited Away, and Sparkly Stardust. You know, Sparkly Stardust was, I think, a perfectly fine Divine Draw. I would see it and I'm like, okay, that's fine. I think in a game where the Divine Draws range from absolutely game-changing to nothing effects, like the Spirited Away, I think Sparkly Stardust was a perfectly fine middle that I think should exist in the game, so having it removed kind of sucked. Super Damage Boost Skill 2, you know, basic one that, you know, how dramatically helped characters like Broly, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, Ultimate Gohan. I get why they removed it. I'm not mad at that. You know, I think it's perfectly fine, but nothing lost or gained there. Then Spirited Away, I'm perfectly fine with it being removed just because, wow, bushes around your God of Destruction. Wow, that's so lame and boring. And dramatically just buff characters like Hit. Then we get to the Season 3 Divine Draws. Super Cooldown Reduction, Vanishing Step, I think was honestly perfectly fine. You know, just having Vanishing Step on a dramatically lower cooldown, I think perfectly fine. Until Kefla came out. And Kefla became an absolute god with that active, considering she would have her Vanishing Step after every skill. You know, she would skill 1 you and vanish like 3 times just because it was that low of a cooldown. Then Cloudy Cloak. This one was just annoying. Anything that hides information is just super annoying and not fun to play against. And so having it to where every player can essentially be hidden by the clouds and you don't know who they are, and you can't even like rush attack them to kind of stop them. You have to use an ability. Super annoying. And this also dramatically buffed Hit. You know, now instead of just being invisible in a bush, you can now be invisible in a cloud and it doesn't show up on your minimap. Really annoying. Then Mystery HP, same issue as Cloudy Cloak. Hiding information is not fun, it's annoying. Not being able to see how much health the boss has, how much health the Kai has, the enemy has. You would have to hit them, and I feel like you would barely see the health for not that long enough. If they wanted to change Mystery HP, they have to let you see the health when you hit something for dramatically longer. It's just unfun. I get upset every time I see Mystery HP. I do not like it. Then I have Kefla here. You could talk about the Season 3 character balancing, the brand new characters, but I'm specifically mentioning Kefla here. Vegito, don't get me wrong, all the Season 3 characters are strong, and if you want to throw all of them up here, I'm not going to argue that. So for me, Vegito's always felt strong. You know, going against him is super annoying because, you know, he'll transform early, he'll gain a level on you on heal, and essentially win the fight early. And then get to level 5 early, so he has his ult early and then starts steamrolling early. He's incredibly strong, I'm not denying that. Bardock is also extremely strong, you know, the amount of damage he can do for a tank with his skill 1s, the amount of displacing he can do moving with the skill 1s, you know, the skill 2 applying the Wrath to everyone in a big circle, and just how much tank he is thanks to the skill 2 and his passive. Really strong character. But Kefla felt dramatically stronger. You know, the amount of damage that she could do for skill 2 and ult. How great of a essentially boss killer and boss secure she was with her ults in skill 2. Top of the movement speed that she would get thanks to her skill 3, the empowerment, the big aura. And then, of course, her main gimmick of the Vanishing Step, being able to restore her Vanishing Step of all of her skills. I think it's a fine gimmick. But she has way too much of a Vanishing Step cooldown reduction for it to be healthy. I think if they want to nerf parts about her, nerf that part about her. She's extremely strong for how much damage she has, and while yes, her main thing was supposed to be frail, the Vanishing Step essentially kind of nukes that as an option. So you just have this incredibly strong character that can do a lot of burst damage for skill 2 ult that will essentially forever live unless, you know, crowd controlled solidly, and thanks to her Vanishing Step removal. And especially when she's paired with the super cooldown reduction, limit Vanishing Step, she would just forever go off. It's crazy. They should probably nerf it for season 4. Who's to say if they will? But yeah, you can throw Bardock and Vegeta up here. I think Bardock probably should be up here, but I'm just gonna put Kefla up here as I feel like she's better. But hey, I'm not that great at the game, so that's to say. One more thing I actually forgot about that I didn't have open, and I'm recording this after the fact, is error code 0, where a game would finish and you would try to go to see the stat screens, and the game would just forever load on this black screen, same with the loading, and then it'll pop up error code 0, and you would have to click on it, wait a bit, and then finally you'll be able to see the home screen results. Really annoying really annoying bug that I hope they fix for season 0, because this is still alive in the game right now. So I hope they actually fix it during season 0, or not season 0, season 4, because look how long I'm loading. And you know, I normally cut this out for my gameplay videos just because this is so long. And while yes, there have been worse error codes, like with the launch of the game, that it would turn everybody, it just completely essentially end the match, and you have to wait till the CPUs would win. I'm glad they got rid of that. Yeah, in the error code 0, you would have to click play again, and then you would eventually wait a bit, and then finally you would see your results screens. I hope they eventually fix this during season 4. This is a really annoying error code, and I hope they fix it. But with that, that is my every review of season 3. I think this is easily better than season 2. I closed the season 2. Whoops. I think season 3 is easily better than season 2. Just a matter of, you know, they've kept up all the quality of life that they included in season 2, but then increased it thanks to all the Zenny. You know, I think the meta feels a lot better thanks to the Divine Combo cards nerfs. And while yes, any meta is going to be annoying, I personally prefer this meta than the season 2 meta of Ultimate Gohan just dominating the game, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta just stunning you into a wall for 2 seconds, then putting up the wall that can last for like 5 seconds and has like a 10-second cooldown. And by the time the cooldown of the wall is down, you would just skill you till you skill on you again, and rinse and repeat. And on top of that, with every character being super tanky with build up, solid barrier, limit breaking jump, I much prefer this meta. But again, I'm not good at the game, so maybe players that are better than me are thinking I'm crazy. That's fine. I just think all the Zenny that you get this season and all of the positives easily outweigh all like the neutrals and negatives. And if season 4 even looks remotely like season 3, just better, I think season 4 will be incredible. So I have high hopes for season 4, and I'm personally really happy with how season 3 came out. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys liked the video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, eating man lots of me. Stay tapped into the channel. We'll notice so you updated videos Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra, including featuring this live as well as coverage on season 4. Because season 4 is tomorrow, guys. So, I mean, if you're watching this maybe after the fact, season 4 is out for you guys. So I hope it's great. You know, I hope it's better than season 3. And I hope it's everything that we wish for. But thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.